Welcome, welcome everyone to the 66th edition of the Home Theater Hub. Mr. Ike, what's going on, sir? How are you doing today?
Good. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
A little tired today, a little tired. Just like last Thursday, I was playing around very early in the morning with spiders and spider webs. Uh, but the
Yeah.
good news is it's all over. So
Are you trying to say
and
you're Spider-Man?
Spider-Man today.
nah, well, he has vitamin K now, right? So he's about to get a full dose of vitamin K, a Kaleidescape. So I'm sure he's gonna have enough energy.
Too soon. Too soon.
What's going on, Paul? How are you, sir? How was your week?
I'm good. Keeping busy. A little under the weather, but I think it's passing. So been a little slow this week.
Yeah, my wife is actually upstairs sick right now
I
too.
did do an upgrade, but to the office instead of having to carry my cooler.
Uh-oh.
I'll put this in a better spot. But
So what is the drink of choice this
flavor
week?
of the day will be Tangerine Riot.
Tangerine Riot. Okay.
Yeah,
All
which
right.
is a I think it's a pretty known brewery. Great Divide, yeah, in Colorado brewery.
Tangerine
Good.
always sounded really cool, but Riot and Tangerine, no.
Why not, man? Don't you like Tangerine? You know,
They always look peaceful to me. They look like the rioting type, but it's Riot.
And we have a new guest on the show today, Miss Amanda Davis. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Very good. How's your week going?
Well, let's see. What is it? Thursday? Oh, good. So great. So great. Tomorrow's Friday. Can't wait.
Oh, we know everyone at Kaleidescape's 24 hours over there. So
Ooh. You never know.
I'm just joking. No. So Mike, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me back.
Appreciate
Sorry,
you joining.
Sorry I missed you guys last week. It was a crazy week in North Carolina with snow and everything, and had to work some extra hours, stay late last Thursday because it was short staffed and people couldn't make it into work because all the snow we had around here. So
you're still getting that. Oh man. Yeah, it was -10 last week and it was 60 something in the middle of this week. So
yeah, we had 75 today. So quite the stark difference from last week. It was like
Welcome
not even
to the flu season.
Yeah.
Yep. Not full blown flu, but yeah, I got some sort of little something. So I'm like, oh man, already.
You're not gonna miss the stream this week with Kaleidescape being on. So it's like my favorite thing ever. So
Speaking of Kaleidescape, Mr. C Big has the Kaleidescape also. He's got the Strato C and a Terra server, not the Prime Terra server, but one of the other Terra servers that came out when the Strato C came out. So I actually helped them out with that purchase a little while back. So all right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it.
Let's give a quick shout out to the chat real quick. I know before we jump to that, Michael, Rob, C-Big, LBMW, that name is always interesting to me. Rich, all the way from Jamaica. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And we're looking forward to having a great show. And if you're watching, put a comment in the chat so we know that you're joining us. And
absolutely, yeah. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot them in the chat too.
Yep.
So any updates to the theater or any movie watching this week, Ike?
No, unfortunately, I did not get a chance to watch any actual movie. It was one of those crazy weeks. I tried to watch a TV show on Netflix and I don't even remember the name. That's how not fun that was.
How uneventful that was, right?
Yeah, that was as much as I tried to even turn on the projector this week. So, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. It looks like, weekends is going to be the best time for me to catch a movie, and I'm going to be watching Sounds of Music with the kids. So,
nice, very nice.
This weekend.
So good.
How about you, Paul? Any movies that you were able
No,
to
this
partake
is
in?
a week I did not watch anything at all this week. I've been under the weather and nothing was going to hold my attention more than like 5 minutes. I was taking naps in 2-hour intervals starting at like 6 o'clock. So
End of the month for me, as every end of the month is just chaotic for me. So trying to close the month out, not much to watch. Finished the Beast games with my wife, so that was good. I enjoyed that. I can't believe how much money that guy spent on that show, man. I mean, he spent hundreds of millions of dollars on that show. I think he lost money too, but it was a good show. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you go to what is it, Prime, and watch that.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So what about you, Mike? You might be the only saving grace here for a movie watch. I know you watch movies.
Always count on me for that, I guess. So minor upgrade, I guess, to the theater, if you want to call it an upgrade. But I did directly run my Kaleidescape video from the player directly to the television instead of running it through my receiver. About a year ago, I guess I had some lagging issues that was caused by my receiver. So I figured it's kind of been on my list of things to do, but just didn't want to get behind everything and reroute. So I did that and got the audio only going to the receiver. So that was a little minor change in the home theater. Movies, I watched a whole bunch of those.
Oh my goodness, he's got a list.
Probably the last person in the world to watch the Shawshank Redemption, but I finally watched that. That was
wow. Oh, that's a great movie. Like
so good. Yeah, I bought it on 4K disc like probably a year ago, and I probably got halfway through it and something happened and I got distracted and didn't watch it. So I downloaded it on Kaleidescape and watched it all the way through.
I added a couple 4Ks to my collection.
Ooh, Steelbook too.
I got the 4Ks.
Which ones? Hey, what did you show?
Kill Bill.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I had to add it. I saw it and I went back and then it was gone. I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, next time I see that, I'm gonna have to get it because it's gonna be one of those ones that's gonna
that is a selling point for the Kaleidescape right there. Yes. The digital store is never gonna run out.
Yeah.
I told you he was going to get some vitamin K.
Oh, yeah. Let him have it, man. Let him have it.
So I also watched War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. That was
a good one.
Kind of old school. Yeah, that was good.
Tom
Spielberg.
Cruise one, because the original's in 4K now, which came out a while ago. Several years ago, I guess, but
that was pretty good. The Brutalist just came out on Kaleidescape.
Did you watch that?
Yeah, that was.
I downloaded it. Don't spoil it. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was definitely kind of not what I expected, but okay. The Companion, I watched that.
Sounds brutal.
Yeah, it was. The 3-hour runtime is brutal for sure. A Complete Unknown I watched the other day. That came out this week. That was really good.
That was the Dylan remake, right?
Yeah. Dylan remake. Very
good. Yeah, biopic. Yeah. I watched that this week too. It was really good.
That was great. I was very impressed. Very good by Timothée Chalamet acting in that. Like, I could see why he's up for Academy Award for Best Actor for that movie for sure. And then I watched Brightburn, which was a Shane Lee request or shout out, I guess, for one of the best like home theater experiences, I guess, because I had never heard of it, and he was mentioning it.
Is that the one where the kids, the kids' eyes?
Yeah, that's the
evil Superman,
alter universe type of thing. Superman, basically.
Very good home theater experience for that for sure, with the super low bass and really good surrounds in that movie. So it was.
I've got that one and I haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna have to check that out too.
Because I thought it was a horror movie, and I don't do horror movies.
Yeah, I don't do horror.
So I was like,
it's listed, I believe, as a horror movie, kind of.
But
horror sci-fi,
right? Yeah, it's more sci-fi. Yeah. Like Quiet Place to me is not a horror movie.
Yeah,
there's some jump scares in Quiet Place.
Yeah, I don't mind jump scares. I just don't like the
There was
certain-
definitely a jump scare at the beginning
Yeah.
of Brightburn.
I,
was like,
I
oh
know
my
what
goodness.
you did last summer is more scary than A Quiet
Yeah.
Place.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know if Mike would like Brightburn.
I don't know about that. Let me
Play
play you the second one. I'll play you the second one, and you tell me the second Quiet Place. I'm not going to tell you what scene I'm going to play, but you'll jump out of your seat. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah.
So-
I did forget. I did watch Nosferatu.
oh, you did
yeah.
watch that?
Yes.
What did you think of that?
The movie was great, but the ending, no, bro, I can't. That was just no. I could have done without that.
Yeah.
Don't you hate that when a movie does so well up until like the ending or a show?
Yeah, to me,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, come on, really?
How did you like it in home theater? Though? Is that a good home theater experience for you?
Well, I watched it streaming,
Okay.
and so I didn't get the good audio. So,
Okay.
because I like to do that because I'm not gonna just buy a movie for audio unless it's like, the top one of all time. Then yes, I might do that. But I like to, if I like the movie, I'll get the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or if I know I'm gonna like it because I'm a fanboy, regardless, yes, I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and buy it. Like I didn't watch the second Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. I knew, I don't even care if it's bad. I want it in my collection regardless. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Nosferatu, I'm like, let me watch it first and see. And I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna add that one.
Yeah, I mean, you might.
They-
I can like the audio, but at least I gotta like the movie, right?
I'm going to get another jab in. The good news is that on Kaleidescape, you can rent the movie before you
Sure.
purchase.
You can.
So
That is true. That is true.
Intravenous shot of vitamin K.
I
So
streamed it.
let's go ahead and introduce Amanda because
Yeah,
I'm
let's
learning
do
about
that.
all this stuff. And let Amanda tell us a little bit about herself and then if she did partake in any movies this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like Michael kind of stole mine, but that's okay.
Sorry.
Forgive you.
He does have
I
a
had
long
like
list.
10. I'm like, oh great, I have one movie. Woohoo. No, it's all good. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, who is probably most of you, because this is my first time on this show, I'm Amanda Davis. I'm Director of Marketing and Sales Enablement at Kaleidescape, and I've been at Kaleidescape for almost 18 years.
Oh,
Next
wow.
month, May. Little anniversary there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's been a fun ride. I mean, I love Kaleidescape and I love working at Kaleidescape, so that's good. So how I kind of got to Kaleidescape, I was a film studies major. So like all of you guys, love watching movies, it's kind of like my hobby, passion type of thing. And then eventually went to film school upon a job posting that had to do with movies and writing the little movie synopsis blurbs like that you see on the screen, right? The little sentences, and working within the movie guide and doing the cover art and metadata and all the stuff for the database that powers all of the, content on there. And then over the years, kind of evolved through the company, worked with the movie store marketing team for a long time, and then just kind of evolved into the corporate marketing. So that's sort of my little journey within Kaleidescape. And it's like, I've never heard anybody say vitamin K. Like, what? That's amazing. I love that. So great. Use that now.
I think that was
We keep it fun around here.
I think that was new for
Yeah, that was new for even me. I don't know how I came up with it, but I guess he talked about being tired. So, when you're tired, you go to the hospital, you get a vitamin shot, B shot, or something. So.
For sure.
So what was your movie that you were able to partake in this week?
Yeah, so the movie was a complete unknown movie.
Okay.
About Bob Dylan. And we were trying to, in years past, before I had kids, I used to try to watch every single Academy Award nominated movie, especially for Best Picture. Back in the day, they had 5 nominees. Now they have 10. I've probably at least watched 5 this year, so I feel proud of myself on that. But I'm not going to make it through all of them. The awards are on Sunday, and that's okay. It is what it is. But I've watched the ones I've wanted to watch, I guess. So
right.
Maybe I still want to watch The Brutalist. Kind of.
Yeah, it was okay.
So maybe I don't know if we'll get to it before the awards, so we'll just see. But I did watch Dune Part 2 last spring. Of course, it's hard not to be excited about that one for the awards. And also, I did see Wicked, and that one was really great too. So I don't know. I think, and there's a bunch that have gotten rave reviews that I haven't watched. So I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday, but I'm going to watch it. See who wins. We'll see.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, no. How are you partaking in the movies? Do you have a home theater set up at your house? Are you viewing? I would hope that you're viewing on a Kaleidescape, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a great question. So we just built a house and we just moved into it like right before Christmas. And so we are still in stages of unboxing. So our quote unquote theater room right now is really sort of just the basement, like entertainment room. But we've built kind of a room next to it that has doors. And so that's going to become the dedicated theater.
Oh, nice.
We just haven't had time to we wanted to move in before we tried to do too much. So we're going to kind of make some plans, figure out like, how do we want to do it? I know we want to put in some Atmos, build it in a little bit, do a little sound isolation. So we're really in the concept stage. We haven't really fleshed out all the details, but we're really excited. I mean, I love, obviously, home theaters. So I'm excited about it. So there will be doors that open up into the other room. So it'll be like a dual entertainment zone and like for games and things like that.
I think you're in the space that, people can help you because, even I'm going to throw Abe out that was on our show last week from 3D Squared. He's a home theater designer and he's also a Kaleidescape dealer. So I'm sure you have plenty of, dealers that you can talk to about helping you out with getting plans together and everything else. It's fun. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time doing it. Research a little bit and take your time. The main thing is take your time. Make sure you get what you want. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's partly that it's like, okay, you got to figure out, what screen size do you want? Like how many rows of seating can fit? And then, where do you speakers and let alone which speakers, where are we going to put them and everything. So yeah, it's going to be an adventure. I'm excited. It'll be fun.
That's fantastic. So what's going on new at Kaleidescape?
What's going on new? So, well, I hope you guys have heard of the Strato V movie player. Yeah.
Just this piece of equipment that might be sitting next to me right here.
Was that the debut at Audio Advice last summer? Yep.
Oh, perfect. Good. Yeah. Well, that's our newest product. It's awesome, as you hopefully know. But we just launched that last July, and it's really great because first of all, it's brought the cost of entry for Kaleidescape down quite a bit from before. You don't have to buy a server with it. You can buy it standalone and it'll work and download movies. So it has internal storage of about, a terabyte. And so you can download approximately 10 4K movies. It kind of depends on file sizes and stuff like that. And if you are downloading, HD movies, you can obviously download more than that. But that way you have like a little collection of movies with you. And then if you want room for more movies, you can add a server. And then honestly, at that point in time, it can kind of go up however high you want to go. And we've got servers that are from 8 terabytes, which store approximately 125 4K movies up to our biggest server right now is 123 terabytes, which is just a lot. I don't even know if I remember. I think it might be 2,000 4K movies. I'd have to go look on the website, but
it's quite a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I think John's showing the screen right now.
Yeah, and I'll get to pulling up Don's screen. I wanted him to be ready to do that. But you talked about being at Kaleidescape for 18 years, right? Tell me, what has changed? How has Kaleidescape evolved to where it is right now?
So it's interesting. So Kaleidescape started. We were founded in 2001, so a long time ago, right? We're going on next year will be our 25th anniversary, and when we started, it was like the DVD era, right? DVDs were pretty new still at the time. And our founders basically they wanted a way to kind of digitally store their movies and have access to them in any room in their house, right? And at the time, I mean, this is predates like streaming, right? We were the original on-screen display. We were the original, company to kind of digitize your movies and have them like at your fingertips on your screen. So we evolved as kind of the industry evolved. We launched a Blu-ray player, a few years after that, and then after that, we launched our movie store and digital movie downloads. And then I think it was like 2016, we launched our first 4K, players and servers, and then kind of on to now. So our focus now is not the disc-based servers anymore. Of course, we're now digital downloads pretty much only. Although we have a lot of customers who still have we call it the Premier line, who still have those, and so we want to keep them happy too. We keep servicing them and everything, but the focus now is like 4K and moving forward, and the digital downloads, and with our movie store. So yeah, basically like the focus that we've had, our company has always been sort of an engineering, like born and run company, and our focus has been on innovation, and quality, high quality. Kaleidescape is pretty synonymous with the highest quality movie downloads you can get at home. Honoring the filmmaker's intent, trying to make sure that we're presenting movies at home in the best way possible to help you kind of have that movie theater experience at home. Another cool thing about Kaleidescape, other than just like high quality movie files, is that we embed automation cues into the movies themselves, where like when you press play, it can trigger the lights dimming if you have like a home automation system, right? Or if you have shades, it can like trigger the shades to go down.
Chuck uses, I think, C-Big or Chuck, he uses it for his auto masking.
Yeah, exactly. Like a screen, like for your projection screen, auto masking. Yep. So it does all of that cool stuff. It's like a digital projectionist, sort of like at home. Yep. So that was sort of the vision, and that's kind of our ethos, moving forward, kind of that movie theater quality experience at home. But the other thing to know is that we were also founded as like a whole home entertainment platform. Okay. And I think these days a lot of people think, I'm not building a theater, so I don't need Kaleidescape. But the thing is, you can have Kaleidescape on any like TV in your house too. I mean, a lot of people start with their theater room, or what you would like call a theater room. Some people don't actually have a dedicated, room, but like a living room where they call it their theater type of thing. And then you can add players, there you go, throughout your house. And then you actually just have access to your whole library on any of those TVs. And anyway, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the fact that, for your older customers that are in that Premier line, you haven't just left them behind, right? You haven't just phased them out and said, okay, it's time for you to upgrade. When you have other companies like certain AVR companies, every single year they're, it's this, and then it moves to this, and then it moves to that. So I really like the fact that, you guys incorporate, I mean, even some of the disc carousels that you have, and, the disc, I guess they're called the disc vaults, right? So that can hold multiple, it's like your old CD changers, right? But for movies.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think those vaults hold like almost 100 movies, correct?
I think so. Honestly, I don't remember for sure, but it sounds right.
I would say at least 100, because they had 100 one, and I think they had a 300 one at one time. It might, Kaleidescape might not. I had it, but as far as the engineering of those devices, they had a 50, 100, and then a 300 disc carousel mechanism produced. I don't know who manufactured it.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, they all still work. They still all integrate with the newer systems, which is fantastic. So I I love the fact that you guys, just didn't say, okay, if you have this system, it's, time for you to upgrade,
Yeah, well, exactly. And we have like an upgrade program too for Premier customers if they're interested in either just adding on, a Strato system to their Premier system. We have a way of doing that with a co-star, and it kind of pairs the two together in each viewing zone. And then, or if you want to just flat out be like, okay, I'm kind of done with the Premiere, let me just sort of upgrade. But what do I do with all my movies? What do I do with all my discs? I can't, import them into the Strato. So we have a disc to digital program that for our Premiere customers, we have a really good program to help them transition. So I don't know if anyone out there is actually a Premiere customer, but if you are, you can email upgrades@kaleidescape.com for, if you're curious about upgrading or just adding on to your system.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I mean, I'm honestly, I'm also a Premiere customer. I mean, I work at Kaleidescape, so it's, but I love both. I love the Premiere line and I love the Strato line. They're both great. And I also have the co-star, so I'm able to watch both on the same TV. And
yeah. So with the Stratus V being the newest, kid on the block, what was the biggest driver behind the Stratus V?
The biggest drive, like the innovation behind the Strato V? A couple of things actually. So I will say V stands for vision. So a lot of people over, I don't know however long, we're asking for Dolby Vision, right? And our previous player, which we still have, the Strato C, doesn't have Dolby Vision. And so we were like, we should probably get Dolby Vision going on, right? People want that. Let's give them the Dolby Vision. So that was one thing. The other thing that we took into consideration too was, people wanted more of an entry level kind of product, and Strato V sort of fills that niche as well because it, since you're able to use it standalone, you can buy just the V before you decide if you want to get a Tera, right? And some people are just happy with it by itself. Great. Yeah. But if you want to unlock kind of the traditional Kaleidescape experience with the, covers view and different things like that, then you can, or have more movies like available instantly at your fingertips, because again, like I said, you can't download like your whole movie collection to the V, and then get a Tera, right? And so you can kind of, and then go up from there. It's kind of an investment that can grow with you however big you want to go, so those were a couple of things, but part of it too in the standalone feature is that, previous to the V, we had like the Strato S and the original Strato, which I have. And some of the drawbacks to that was that the movies downloaded slower, like much slower. Like the Strato V will download, a full 4K movie in, we call it as little as 10 minutes over gigabit Ethernet, because obviously internet speeds vary. And even if you have gigabit Ethernet, sometimes you're not actually using the whole amount of bandwidth, right? So it depends. But the Strato S, I think, would download in like 35 or 45 minutes. And so it just was kind of like you had to wait longer. And so even though a lot of people are patient and they're like, okay, well, cool, well, I'll go to have dinner and then I'll come back and watch my movie, etc. Like it just was like, a little bit less engaging when you had to wait that long. So like 10 minutes is easy because you can just go pop your popcorn, grab your drinks, do whatever, then you're kind of ready to go. So that was nice. But so that was kind of a performance upgrade with the V. And then the other one that's also great is that you can be downloading a movie while watching a movie on the Strato V, because the Strato and the Strato S previously, you couldn't. You could do one or the other. And so just from a performance perspective, it's just different, right? So the Strato V has, a few more capabilities like that kind of make it just a little better from like a user experience point of view. So
the storage on the Strato V, it's right at 1 terabyte, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or real close to it, minus the operating system and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So with that, I think you did mention you can do about 10 4K movies on that. I do have a question for you that it's not in the chat. You may be able to answer it, you may not.
Sure.
With with the Strato V, you get the 1 terabyte, but when you purchase the server,
Mhm.
it's called a Prime server. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a NAS for the player, right? So, it's basically the storage area for your movies, and when you incorporate that with the Strato V, you actually lose that 1 terabyte. It do you know what the decision, why that decision was made, or was it an engineering thing that it couldn't pull from both of them at the same time? Do you know why that was made? That decision was made.
So I do know that it was made, so we got that going. But I think that it was a performance thing, but I could be wrong. It was when they're grouped together,
Mhm.
it's easier for them to perform as a player itself and as a server. And I'm sure that there's a technical reason why. I just didn't.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm sorry, I kind of threw you a curveball here. I'm a dealer for that, and not for Kaleidescape. For those of you that don't know, and that is a question that I get, right? So,
Okay, sure.
because people do their research. Obviously they're spending a good bit of money on this particular product, and they want to know, hey, well, what happens with that other storage? Is it used as cache? Is it used as other how where does it go, basically, is some of the questions that I've gotten. And I just tell them, look, it becomes a standalone player at that point, just like the Strato V, and it shuts off all of the any of that storage that goes to that.
I have my engineering thoughts of why that is.
Yeah, so for those of you who are asking questions, we are starring your questions, so we're not ignoring them. We will
Yeah.
get to them. So we just want to, go through, talk about the product and
I don't
things
have
like that before we get to.
any clue how or why, but as an engineer, my first brain thought would be there's probably some sort of encryption that is hardware serialized encrypted that takes like a two-way key, right? So the player itself is part of that key and the hard drive and the serial number. But once you get an external like NAS storage device, it's probably serializing with that cluster and serializing that way. So you're losing that. You can only have one key and token with the system, if you would. So that's probably the easiest way to implement it. That way you can keep it secure.
Yeah, I told you Paul was the resident geek, right?
You could be correct. I honestly don't know.
I don't even know what you're trying to explain, but
I may not mean anything to anyone, but that's a likelihood, very likely, because that would make sense. Because even Kaleidescape would have no reason to just throw away 1 terabyte.
Yeah, right? That I agree with.
But
they're
not doing that on purpose. They're not just saying, "Oh well." No, there's a reason, and more than likely, that's probably what it is. And that's not a cheap endeavor, software wise, and time, and just overall the security and signatures and stuff that you have to use to make that happen. So it's probably like, okay, we're gonna just transfer this over here, and there's your 1-to-1. So.
Could be. Yeah, what I was gonna say too, you kind of reminded me, is that the cool thing about Strato V too is even if you do group it with a server, let's say you do have, want more movies and all that stuff, you can later on, if you decide to, you can actually put it back in standalone mode.
I was going to ask that question if you wanted to travel with it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you did want to travel, which like a lot of people have done, you take it, there's like a little reset thing in the back of it. You push that. And what that does though is it'll make it so that you have to actually re-download the movies that you want to load onto it when you're going.
Makes sense with my nerd comment. Yeah. It's like, you got to re-establish that.
Yeah. But it's great though if you have like, I don't know, maybe, a motorhome and you wanted to take it on the go, or a family cabin and you haven't purchased a second system for your cabin, you just want to take it up there with you,
Hey,
Or
look,
or take to a sub.
Matt took his on a cruise.
Yeah.
He traveled with a Strato V and took it on a cruise. So wow,
There you go.
Or you take it to a home theater crawl to show off all your demo material.
Oh yeah, that's true. But let me jump on this question real quick, because that's a question I wanted to ask. Also, was Cal is talking about the interface, the software. The interface is one of the things that I actually like the most about the Kaleidescape, at least even the version that I had for review. I was going to ask, what was the reasoning behind? How did you guys come up with that particular design? But now we also have a follow-up question. Are there any plans for some sort of update to that interface? I don't know why you want to, but yeah.
Well, that's so funny, because it's a great question. Thanks, Carl. That's a great question. But then also, like, how was it designed? So I'll try to go kind of chronological there. So I'm also going to talk about what is Kaleidescape, because people are like, what is that? Kaleidoscope, what? K-scape, So behind me, you see, this is kind of our classic, we call it our covers view on screen display. So you see how there's like just a bunch of covers. And then when you're actually, engaging with the system, and you can flip from cover to cover, and then the whole thing swirls around and it resets, and different movies that are related to the movie in the middle kind of come into view. So like maybe movies that are by the same director, have similar cast or similar genres and things like that. It's just kind of algorithmic. So it does this kind of swirly thing. It's really pretty. They're all the movies that you own. And so Kaleidescape is sort of like evocative of a kaleidoscope, which is what a lot of people actually name us as, right? But what do movies do for you? You escape. They provide escapism. They're entertaining. You can get away from your everyday life, your thoughts, your whatever it is, right? Your work day. And so for the founders kind of came up with Kaleidescape because it was just this kind of whimsical, wonderful way to just kind of show your movies, putting, like I said earlier, we created the kind of the original on-screen display. It predates any streaming services. It predates Netflix streaming. Netflix at the time we were founded was just mailing discs, right? So so it was really unique and innovative, and a lot of people still love it. There are a couple of other interfaces or other menus, I should say, that are different than this classic covers, kind of cover, shuffle, swirl, and like one of them is the list view, where you go down and you can see the different titles like alphabetically, or you can search by director or things like that. But then and then there's the collections view, where you can see different collections that you may have created for yourselves or yourself. And then in the new Strato V, though, we actually did create a new interface. Now this, maybe Don had it up a little bit ago. So
yeah, I'm sharing that now. So,
oh, perfect. Yeah, do you want to go to there you go. So we created a kind of an updated interface that it took the place of what we were previously calling the collections view. And we did this because with a standalone system where you don't probably have like 20 or 40 movies, well, you definitely don't have them downloaded probably, unless they're like all SD quality. Then how do you want to see your movies aside from that cover scroll? Because you don't really have enough movies to fill your screen. And so what we wanted to do is make it pretty intuitive, where you can see the movies that like you've downloaded, so that they're the new movies, which ones have you started watching but you've paused and you might want to pick those up again. And then if you scroll up further down at the top, and then go over to the left a bit, you can see content that's available in the store. So those 4 right there would have been like the top 4 movies that have been purchased recently on our store. And then you can go browse the store to see what other movies you might want to purchase and download or rent if you don't want to purchase. And then that takes you back to that store interface. So those are a few of like the innovations that we have done within the past year to the interface. But again, this is in the standalone mode, specifically on the Strato V. So it's not, if you have a Strato C or other Strato going back, right now you probably just still have that classic interface. So, the other thing I'll mention is that we do make software updates. We try to do them about quarterly, or at least 3 to 4 times a year. And usually in those updates, we have some sort of, update with the interface. Sometimes they're really small and you may not notice them, but sometimes they're bigger. So, my guess is that little tweaks here and there are going to kind of continue to keep coming. In terms of like some sort of earth-shattering interface, I'm not quite sure if there's a plan for that anytime soon, but we are listening, to feedback too. So, anytime any of you guys who are Kaleidescape customers out there who have some feedback, we've got an owner's forum. Well, it's not actually, we don't own the owner's forum, but there is an owner's forum that we pay attention to pretty frequently. And then there's also, I think, a product feedback email alias that you can email us, product-feedback@kaleidescape.com. If you have, things that you're kind of interested in seeing some changes on. And I know that,
you guys hear a bunch about the movies that aren't currently downloaded kind of being on the movie wall as well. That would be something that would be, to me,
the movies currently being downloaded. Yeah. So on this,
like that are not downloaded currently, that are like, that you've purchased but are not downloaded, because I could only have like 200, but I own like 600 movies kind of thing. And if they were like just on the wall, but maybe grayed out or something, or maybe had like a little icon that it wasn't downloaded kind of thing currently, that you can actually see all of your movies on your wall.
Right. Like yours and the ones you haven't downloaded. I know that would be really cool. That would
and owned or you could filter it, right? Like movies and then owned, and would show all of them.
Yeah.
And I saw there was an update on the app where you could pull up all of my movies, and then you could just pull up just the ones that are downloaded. That would be super cool if you could have that on the wall as well.
On the display.
Yeah.
That would be pretty neat.
So as we were talking about, if you purchase a movie that, these are all the movies that I own, right? This particular movie right here is not downloaded to my system, so it's actually in the cloud. Let's make sure I'm on the right page here. Yeah, so view all my movies. So you were speaking of what movies, like this movie right here, it's not downloaded to my system.
And yours is showing?
It's showing it, yes.
So it's already
that's on the internet though, correct? Not on your
No, this is actually the player itself. The Strato V.
That's the Strato V interface.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So it's showing all my movies that I own.
That's cool. And how do you know if it's, well, obviously, there's not that many downloaded.
Correct. So what is downloaded on my Strato V currently? Let me go to this.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So these are ready to play.
Oh, okay. So it has a movie store. So yeah, okay. So it has a movie store internet browser built in. So okay, well that's cool. So that's the same thing. I mean, in a way.
So these are what I have downloaded. I actually just purchased Heretic today, and one thing that I wanted to show is I'm going to share my screen here. Share another screen, I should say. Let's go to history. Is that right? Yeah. All right. So you can see today at 6:22 a.m. I was driving from one location to another location, and I said, you know what? I'm listening to Brightside Home Theater, and Steve said Heretic from Brightside was a very good movie. And I'm like, okay, I need to purchase this movie because of what Steve from Brightside is telling me. Well, it downloaded and completed that movie. I have a 5 gig up and down internet. So it downloaded that movie in 11 minutes. Full 4K Dolby Vision download in 11 minutes.
So full disclaimer, right? You pulled into a gas station and
Yeah.
then downloaded it. You didn't do that while driving.
Not on your phone while driving.
Well,
Yeah.
in Florida, it is not illegal to use your phone.
I'm
Other
just-
states, it is.
Well, that's not what you did.
told Alexa
Regardless
to
of
do it.
what the law is in Florida, that's not what you did. You pulled over to the gas station, you downloaded it. Can we agree
Sure.
on that?
Yeah, we'll agree on that. But yeah, no. And then it's literally for me, the way I have it set up on my phone, it's literally a fingerprint. So I click on the movie, I press purchase, and I put my thumbprint on the phone, and boom, it purchases it for me. Let me see if I can share this again. Share this tab instead. There we go. So this is actually the movie store itself on a computer, right? So on this particular screen, it's showing me that I have one update available. So let's go and see what this movie update is. Let's see. Okay, movie updates. So I have all these movies that have an update for it. Now it could be a change in the audio. It could be advanced picture quality. It could be a minor tweak that they made. So I have to go back and I'll re-download all these movies onto my system again because those are actually, ready to be upgraded.
Wait, so are you saying that Kaleidescape can actually go back and update, let's say, the audio for a movie to Atmos version?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Right. So,
Oh, wow.
and let's say that there was a disc error, right? So I have a movie, I think it's Donnie Darko. There was a national release saying that, hey, they messed up on this disc. And if you wanted to go back, send your disc, get a new version of it, you send your disc back to them and they give you a new version of it. Well, Kaleidescape actually does this for you at no additional charge.
Yep.
So if there's an improvement to the movie in any way, they'll update it.
Yeah, I had one today for Alien Romulus that had video enhancement, like improvements for Alien Romulus. It was a free update for the video quality of the movie. Just
So this
updated
one
it.
says audio and video improvements.
There we go.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. So let's jump into another question for Amanda because I know we have a couple and we don't have all the time. This is one question, right? Which I'm sure Amanda must have come across a couple of times, right? So you have a lot of home theater enthusiasts who already have 4K collections, of their movies and things like that, and may have considered, getting a Kaleidescape. But like John, the idea of, having to rebuild home theater movie collection.
Mhm.
What is Kaleidescape's solution? I know you have some type of solution for that, but
Yeah.
what would you tell John and folks out there that already have 3,000 4K discs sitting on the shelf and, would love the idea of a Kaleidescape, but don't want to buy 3,000 movies all
repurchase
over?
everything? Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I did previously mention we have a disc to digital program, and this applies even for new customers. Like you don't have to be a Premiere customer to participate in disc to digital. So essentially how it works is that we have kind of agreements with a bunch of the studios where they provide kind of like a reduced price for disc to digital purposes. So if we can confirm that you own the movie, and that's done by basically cataloging your discs. So we and there's a Kaleidescape support article about disc to digital. So if you want more information, you can kind of look that up on our support side. But essentially we have some externally powered Blu-ray disc drives that you can plug into the back of your Strato player, and that will you put the discs in one at a time to catalog them. And what that does is that recognizes the hash on the disc and it confirms that you own the disc. And then that goes into your movie store account saying that you have this movie. You can now opt to basically get the digital version. So usually you can get either the SD quality or the HD quality or the 4K quality. So let's say you either owned it on DVD, you could just upgrade it to the 4K quality version if you wanted to and get that disc to digital reduction in price. So it's not free, but it's definitely a reduced cost to digitize your movie library across like the whole library. There are a couple of studios who don't participate in it. And for those movies, you wait for sales to happen in the movie store. We have sales basically all the time. So there's a lot of titles that just go on sale.
Oh yeah, we hear Don talk about that all.
But the point is that we want to make it easier for you to convert to digital. And so we don't want you to have to pay full price for your whole collection. So across the whole collection, especially if you actually have thousands of movies, we're going to definitely save a chunk of money. There is one caveat though, because I did see that you said 4K discs. We don't currently recognize 4K discs for ownership, but if it's one of those box sets that came with a Blu-ray disc, you would put the Blu-ray disc in for recognition, and then you could digitize it to the 4K version that way. We just don't actually, our database doesn't recognize 4K Blu-ray discs.
Do you know what the limitation on that is? Why? Because I mean, when you actually when you back up your disc, for that you own, if you back it up yourself, it scrubs the disc, I think, the same way for a Blu-ray as it does for a 4K.
But that's a firmware hack.
So there's I don't know about the scrubbing, but I do know why. And part of it is because our database, we have processed Blu-ray discs into our database, and the hash code that's imprinted in the disc, we can confirm it.
Okay.
We don't, when we launched our 4K products, it was all on the store. So it was not, we didn't build a 4K disc library because all of our 4K Kaleidescape files are sourced from mezzanine files from the studios. So we don't actually have those hash codes on the actual 4K discs in our database to correspond the purchase. I know that's getting into the weeds, but that's the explanation why.
Okay.
And so for us to start going out and buying all of the 4K discs just so that we can recognize them, it doesn't really make sense to do that. But like I said, again, a lot of the times it'll come in a combo pack. So if you have the other version, if you have the Blu-ray version, the regular Blu-ray version, not the 4K version, then just use that one instead of the 4K Blu-ray disc.
So
and
I was doing,
that's kind of annoying, but it's just the way that our store has been built.
So I was doing an experiment with this, and I actually was able. This is my disc to digital offers here. I haven't cataloged all my discs yet, but this is, as you can see here, Jaws for $14.99 normally for $4.92. Unforgiven, regular $34.99 for $4.92. Split $14 or $15 for $4.92. Basic Instinct, so these are just ones that I was playing around with just to try to make some content. And I actually got the Unforgiven 4K disc because I was just experimenting to actually pull and show up on the disc to digital. But that was the only one out of like 10 discs that I tried. So I was just experimenting, just to see if it would actually work. So like you said, every Blu-ray that I put in, it worked perfectly fine. Boom, boom, boom.
Gotcha.
So I just wanted to mess around and try and see, hey, will this show? But the great news is when you pop in your Blu-ray, even if you only have a Blu-ray, Kaleidescape is actually going to offer you the upgrade to 4K.
4K, yeah.
Exactly.
So you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Even if you're like me and you worked at Blockbuster, 25 years ago, and you have like hundreds of DVDs, and you're like, what am I going to do with that?
Blockbuster.
We do just digital on DVDs too.
You age yourself when you say you
I
worked
know,
at
I'm sorry.
Blockbuster. Like,
I just thought, I'm
Yep.
just making the points. It's all good.
VHS
No,
was the source of rental when I went to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So DVDs and regular Blu-ray discs will both work for disc to digital. And like I said, again, you don't have to be a pre-existing Kaleidescape customer. New customers can take advantage of this too. So it's a great way if you're considering, you're on the fence, you want to try it, but you're like, oh, what about my thousands of movies?
This is one of my favorite things that you added is this collection set.
Oh yeah, this is where you're gonna lose all your money. No,
This is this is fantastic though.
fantastic.
Because look, I mean,
I know
like
Josh
that.
didn't hear you say that.
No, these are so popular though. These are and it's honestly it's probably the best way to go because this is how you save the most.
This saves you money. Yeah. So
purchasing, especially if you're new, new to the
I'm gonna try to
platform.
pick one that I don't have Gladiator on here. So let's see what the set costs.
Yeah.
So the complete set for $39. When this movie first came to Kaleidescape, I think it was $39 to purchase it.
Oh yeah.
Or real close, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh,
so so now you're getting both movies for $39,
The price
right?
of one. Yeah.
Which is fantastic, you know. The Venom, I don't have any of the Venoms, I don't think. Yeah. So to purchase the whole set's $34. 3 movies. That's $10. That's like $11 a movie, man. I mean, well, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the Dune collection. I have both of these, so it's just going to tell me to download. So I'm not going to be able to show you what the price.
And I am going to say, I'm going to add to this. Like you see right there, the Dune pricing and some of those other prices. There's a strike through. So periodically, even the content sets, which are already sort of discounted way to buy the movies, will go on sale. So like it's a discount upon the bundle price, which the bundle price is lower than the individual title price.
$25, but now
So
$19 on the
and I think that this sale, well, actually tomorrow's the end of the month, so I was gonna say I think it's through the end of the month, but maybe that's hurry now.
Buy your Kaleidescape right now and
buy it right now. You got until
And
tomorrow.
Don will drive it to you in Alaska.
I'm not gonna lie. When I bought my Kaleidescape, Brett kind of helped me do this, right? So he there was a content sale, one of your first content sales on all of the Marvel movies. So I got like all of the Marvel movies for like $200 that you had to offer, except for the Spider-Mans, you know, because they were a different studio.
Yeah.
But I literally that's where I got all of my movies. So once I was able to have my account created and I had my player, I was able to lock that in and get that done. So that was fantastic.
That's
So I have one more. I have another question because there's a couple more, but I know we got a time check also. The Middle East, there's a Kaleidescape. What are some of the geographies that you can get a Kaleidescape?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. So not the Middle East unless you have a yacht. We do have a marine. We do have Kaleidescape for marine. So if you have a yacht, then you can contact us for that. But our territories currently are U.S. obviously, Canada, and the UK. Okay. So those are the 3 territories where you can get the Stratoterra. I mean, previously, like I said, back in the Premiere era, we did sell in more countries. So we have some, older legacy customers that are in other territories, but currently those are our store territories. And because our Stratoterra products are download from the store, we only sell the product in the countries where we have a movie store and movie store licenses. So those are and then marine, like I said. So marine is yachts. So all you out there with your yachts, just let us know.
Yeah.
I can't help you out with that one. It's against my selling.
Can I have my dinghy be a
No, that I don't know. You would have to contact our.
I mean, I can register it as a
your inflatable boat. But okay, so let's go to this question, Amanda. It wouldn't be the home theater hub if we don't talk about this, right? I think one of the biggest pushbacks that people tend to have when you talk about the Kaleidescape is pricing, right? And it's I think that's one of the questions you probably get to answer a lot of time is,
Probably.
pricing and hardware and the drives and the storage, and I know Kaleidescape gets a lot of those feedbacks, right? So what is Kaleidescape's goal or vision when it comes to, the pricing? I know that the V, was also kind of helps to mitigate some of that, but I'll let you speak about that,
Yeah.
about Kaleidescape, the pricing, the policy, and
Yeah, let me
why
talk-
you have to
Sure.
price things the way they are.
Yeah, let me talk about that. So first of all, I mean, I totally get it. Like and we have heard that before, of course. So before the Strato V launched last summer, in order to kind of purchase into the ecosystem, you would have to buy a player and a server. So the two separate pieces of hardware, right? And I think the entry level pricing was somewhere around like 9,000 at the time.
Right at $9,000. Yep.
Yeah. So the Strato V coming down in price, to US MSRP of 3,995 is actually like pretty great. It's like a little less than half, right? And part of the reason, as I mentioned earlier, is that we are listening to you guys out there, right? We get that. I mean, we are a premium product, of course. We have high-end R&D. We have proprietary software. We do automatic software rollouts throughout the year. Our hard drives are like enterprise class, 99.5% like reliability rating. They're the kind of stuff you see at the data centers, where all of the mass data is storage. So really you are getting what you pay for, and that it's really a high quality premium product, right? So we were able to kind of make some innovations and some improvements with the Strato V in order to bring that entry cost down. So that's kind of, I guess, just what I'd say is that again, it's still a premium product. It's still kind of like an aspirational product for some people. Like, it's the type of thing where if you are passionate about movies and watching them at home and the best quality, and you've already invested a bunch of money, or you want to invest a bunch of money in a really nice sound system and a really nice screen and a really nice projector system, then the thing with the Kaleidescape is that we have the content that is going to feed the rest of your system in the best way possible. So we're the only digital movie provider with lossless audio, including like spatial audio, like Dolby Atmos, True HD, DTSX, all that stuff. And even with Strato V, we do the lossless audio decode on the player itself. So you don't even have to have like an AVR that does lossless audio decode. The player does it for you. And our video is reference quality video. And what that means is we are very minimally compressing it so that you get the most like vivid video possible, like without the buffer, like the compression artifacts from buffering from streaming, things like that. So that's kind of why you would want to like invest in Kaleidescape. If you are that passionate person, if you really appreciate having kind of that viewing environment, if you don't want to watch all your movies on an iPad or just kidding. You know what I mean? Though, like it's about what are you passionate about? If this is your hobby and this is what you want to do, I mean, people spend 10 grand on a DSLR camera when they have an iPhone. You know what I mean? Like, this is why it's just, it's
ease of use.
passionate, right?
It is, because as an engineer, I'm not necessarily the prime target for Kaleidescape, but I always say, well, how many years has this person been an engineer? What you may see as trivial will take someone 6 months to figure out. And it's like, well, how much time is that? I mean, by that time, Strato V saving pretty cheap.
That's the other thing I was going to mention is it's like, if you like that disc quality, but you don't want to have to suffer through disc menus all the time.
Oh yeah.
Even the trouble of trying to find a disc nowadays.
Yeah, as I was just saying, I saw my thing and I was like, I'll get it up. Oh no!
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love discs too, but the convenience of having them all there at your fingertips is just like, it's just how it's hard to go back from that, you know.
Yeah.
And so what I would say is it's like the quality of disc are better because we're not constrained by file size limitations like the discs are. So we're actually able to kind of, you know, at times, depending on the movie, put more data into the Kaleidescape file that you're downloading, right? And we're giving you bigger files for some of those movies. You know, and we have more like the convenience of streaming where, you know, you're not going around looking for your discs or putting them in and suffering through menus. It's more of an instant gratification kind of like streaming. So we kind of marry those two worlds. And the other thing that's really great about Kaleidescape is that we have a content team that goes in there, does all the metadata for you, does the cover art, bookmarks the movies, so you have some automation cues. None of the streaming services are giving you those automation cues in their files, right? And I think I just got lost in my train of thought there, but metadata. But it saves you time, though. That's the other thing. Like if your alternative is one of those kind of do-it-yourself like options where, you know, you want the disc quality, but you want the convenience, and you don't want to pay for Kaleidescape, then you're going to pay for it in your time and your effort and your suffering through nights.
Whether it was time from your, you know, 20 years of experience, doing that. It's like, that's, you know, it's like, it's easy to go, you know, anyone can go build a dresser or something. How many times have you cut a piece of wood? You know, how many tools do you have? You know, it's kind of the same
thing. I know, right? It's like when you watch those YouTube DIY videos that just make it look so easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you go to Home Depot and you buy everything, and then you decide to remodel your bathroom, and you're like, holy crap.
Long story short, like, I get it. It's a premium price tag for a movie player, right? I get that.
Yep.
Totally understand. But again, you got to think of it as an investment. You got to think of it as, is this what you care about? Is this what you're passionate about? And if it is,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, think the confidence piece is a really, you know, I think that was my biggest takeaway. It was just easy to come in and even have the kids take the remote, find a movie. If you haven't paid for it, you can search and pay or whatever, or just watch a movie seamlessly.
The biggest thing for me is the reliability. I can tell you that, and I've said this multiple times, that this is the one device that just works. You're not power resetting it for it to work. Your Apple TV, you're not pulling it out, unplugging it, plugging it back in to reset it. It works every single time that I turn it on. So, and I've been in the running joke because I've been building my theater for 3 years, but I've also used the Kaleidescape for the entire time that I've been building my theater in my living room. So
I think you skipped out on a few years, but that's fine.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Anyway, but it just works. And the greatest thing is when I purchased my first one used, right? So I purchased it from from someone on Facebook Marketplace, and the good thing is I called up and I said, "Hey, can you check out this player?" I gave them the serial number of the player. They said this player has never had any disc fails. It's never had any repairs. They had everything down to a science to tell me exactly what was going on with that player, right? So I felt comfortable purchasing it as a used player, right? So, and the greatest thing is when your wife looks at you and she tells you, you know what, this is the best thing that you purchased for the theater.
There you go. Right there.
It's easy for her to use. I turn it on and she says she loves it. You know, it's a phenomenal product. I mean, you can control it with your phone through the phone app. You know, you don't even need a remote. It's just a great product. I'm going to segue into this real quick.
So let me just address this comment real quick, Don.
On the customer service there too, Don.
So there's this comment from Terrence, right? So talking about the ability to create scripts on the device itself, I believe, versus having to use the laptops. I think that's also something that personally I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
So Kaleidescape, please take a look at that.
I'm going to take note of that.
Now, does that mean does that mean like movie clips, or what does that mean?
So scripts are kind of like a playlist of movie scenes and songs.
Yeah, that's what I
Kaleidescape-
was
yeah,
wondering.
yeah. So it's like you're building up a playlist, or you can put a cover art in there. You can build a movie night event out of it. You can play a couple scenes and then have it play a movie. I've done that a few times, So it's again unique to Kaleidescape feature, right? Even the scenes are unique to Kaleidescape.
Yeah, but the thing is that I understand the use for the scripts, right? But Kaleidescape also breaks up scenes already for you, right? So there's already scenes being
Popular
broken up.
ones that are
Yeah.
already done are already in the list. So unless you're trying to really go one off, I know that when you select a movie, they have the little demo reels already.
Yeah. So the content team, like I said, I mean, we're embedding the metadata cues, like I was mentioning before, but they also bookmark memorable scenes, right? And songs. So like if it's a musical or if it's a concert, then they'll bookmark the song, so you can just jump right to that spot. And then so they're just there for you. When you download the movie, they're already there. You don't have to do anything about it. But you can also create your own favorite scenes. Let's say that our content team didn't maybe find the scene that you found really amazing, so they didn't bookmark it. But you're like, what? I love this scene. Why is this not bookmarked? So you can go in and you can create your own scene in addition, and then it just shows up like in that list, but with a little heart next to it, because that means you've created it for yourself. So it's pretty cool. I love that. That scenes are one of my favorite things. It's so fun. So, and scripts are really cool too. So scripts is just kind of like putting together like a list of different scenes or songs in an order that kind of, what you want to do.
So I'm showing this here. It's basically showing, the scenes that. So these chapters, when you purchase the disc, there's chapters, right? This is not the same. These do not match up with the chapters in the disc.
Yeah, these are like she said, memorable moments or what we call demo scenes.
Demo scenes, demo quality. Scenes.
So
Jay,
chapters,
so
right?
Jay is asking, do you have a showroom? You probably, do you in the San Francisco area?
I'm fairly certain, but I am going to grab the link to. We have a really great dealer locator tool on our website that you'll be able to kind of go in and put in your zip code, and so you'll know whether or not those people have like a demo available. And let me see if I can figure out how to get into the chat.
They have it in Kansas City. They have it in
it's being weird, so I'm not sure. But if you go onto our website and then in the drop-down menu, there's just a find a dealer link. Maybe somebody else can drop it into the chat since
So we have one more question, and I know we're a little bit over the time, but there's a question here. Is there an expansion option for Stratus V? Bobby, are you asking if you can add additional the drives to it, or I'm not exactly sure what the context of your question is.
I think the gist of the question is, can you take that device and put more storage internally on it? But I think you have to buy an expansion.
Yeah, you would have to just buy a server to go with it.
And that's what I thought. And that's
and you can do that separately. You don't have to buy, you can actually purchase the player first, and then you can actually add on a server later on if you want to.
Yep.
Right. My thoughts is that, if you don't have a big collection, you can store everything that you purchase in the cloud. You just saw that it took 11 minutes for me to download the movie, right? So, if you want to rent a movie, 11 minutes, 12 minutes to download it, right? So you just plan ahead just a little bit, like we were saying earlier. I have the Strato S. I'm so used to just purchasing a movie while I'm eating lunch and saying, okay, I'm going to watch this later on tonight. That way the Strato S would take 45 minutes to download a movie, right? But I'm just so programmed that I'm not in a rush to do anything because I was used to that. And that's still how I purchase my movies. As you saw, at 6:18 in the morning, I purchased a movie and downloaded it, right? So it's something, okay, I'm going to watch this, so later on in the evenings. But yeah, I mean, just the convenience of being able to do that. You know, you can't even go to the store and pick up a movie at 6:18.
Yeah.
You know, Walmart's not 24 hours anymore since COVID.
Chuck has a question here. I like this question because I was wondering that myself. So for the bundles, if you have like 3 out of 5, do you get a discount if you already own them on Kaleidescape? Not necessarily the discs, but if you own
Right. So I'm assuming you mean the content sets that we were looking at previously.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, yes. So what we do is we just give you the best price, even if you're just buying like 1 or 2 out of the content set. If you already have 1 or 2 of the movies and you're buying like a couple of others, it gives you the discount. So it kind of factors that in for you. Because
That's cool. Yeah, that's really nice.
Because when we built the feature, we're already customers and have a lot of movies. And we're like,
You're like, wait, I own 9 of the 10 movies.
Yeah, it's like a complete your set kind of option there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you should still see, a discount over just buying the titles individually. Unless like maybe those titles individually are on sale themselves for like cheaper than maybe.
Yeah.
But
You'll have to do the math yourself, Chuck. It's like, well, I've got the disc and I haven't put it in the player to see how much it costs versus the bundle versus the.
So any future plans for Kaleidescape? Any secrets that you can tell us?
I would love to tell you all of the secrets, but
No, not all of them.
Yeah, right.
Josh is probably watching, so don't tell us all of them.
So I can't obviously tell you guys anything that's coming up, even though I would love to. But I can tell you that we are listening. So it's like I said before, if you do have feedback, if you do have things that you want to communicate to us, please just let us know. Product related feedback, you can do product-feedback at kaleidescape.com. If you're a customer, especially a premier customer, and you're interested in upgrading or adding on to your system, upgrades at kaleidescape.com. If you just want to talk to me, you can go marketing at kaleidescape.com. We're listening, seriously.
Where's my $100 off coupon?
They're gonna send you a plus $200. Your email costs $200 for us to read.
So
I will
if you
say
have
the
any
value
further
proposition, the customer service you guys have is really excellent. I've had an issue with my receiver transferring the video to my TV, and I contacted customer support, and just amazing the quick turnaround response time and be able to troubleshoot my issue with ease. So that was definitely very valuable, I guess, as part of the cost of everything is your customer service.
Yeah, we have a really good tech support team. If you think I've been here a long time, our rock star tech support guys just 20 years this year, like at Kaleidescape for 20-year anniversary. So
yeah, like I said, I mean, I purchased one secondhand and I called up. I said, hey, the guy gave me the serial number. What can you tell me about this? And spit off everything. It was fantastic,
That's awesome.
So, if you guys, Amanda, I know that it's getting late for you, and I definitely appreciate you joining the show.
Yep.
If you guys have any additional information, you can obviously email, the emails that Amanda mentioned. If you're interested in purchasing a Kaleidescape, you can email me at horizontheater2020@gmail.com. Or if you just want to discuss, if you want to talk about anything at all, by all means, you're welcome to shoot me an email and we can have a discussion. I can FaceTime you. We can go through
Hop on the
menus.
show.
We can go everything.
Yeah, you can come on the show and we'll talk.
So I do have one more question. Do you do any dealings with the commercial theater side?
Oh yeah, so that's interesting you bring that up. So last year we sort of launched into commercial theaters, and we're sort of in like a pilot program right now. So there aren't really that many across the country, but we do have a few exhibitors who are testing us out. And we have some studios on board as well, which is really cool. So essentially, the plan there is to have an alternative platform to bring the library content back to the big screen. So like if you know, like at Christmas time, if the movie Elf was being shown again, like you could watch it on Kaleidescape, like that kind of thing in the theater. So that just goes to show you that the quality that you can bring home with Kaleidescape, you can also enjoy at the theater, because even though we're not DCI, files, really we at the theater, like,
yeah, they have that here in Kansas City. AMC, I think world headquarters is here, and they have it where if you rent the theater, you can tell them the movies you want, and you can
like a private event,
Mm-hmm.
or like a event party and stuff like that. Yeah, so we're doing more this year. We're really excited. We've got more exhibitors kind of coming on board, so hopefully more and near more of you people like out there will see us in theaters.
Yeah,
exciting.
The ones I've seen it aren't like the big jumbo like 2-story screens, but
so we're not like in the IMAX,
like a 20, like a 20 seat theater with the couches and all that stuff. But still, I mean, it's bigger than most people have, that's for sure, by a lot. But it's still, it's a pretty cool private little.
Well, and I've been to the theater where we've had Kaleidescape and seeing content on the big screen, and it looks and sounds fantastic. Yeah, like it's I can actually attest to that, and that actually brings me to another point that I wanted to make before I drop off, is that it's nice for us to say a lot of great things. We have lossless audio, we have, reference quality video and all that stuff. Higher bit rate movie downloads, all these things that sound like words. But honestly, like the best way to know how Kaleidescape can make an impact for you and for your own home theater is to get a demo. So, like I think we put on our Find a Dealer locator in the chat, like find a dealer near you, go test it out for yourself. Like that is going to be the best way that you're going to know, because once you experience it, you get it. Like you are like, oh, that is different. I hear more than I heard before, or I, like get the feels like I get at a real theater. So it's cool. So get a demo. If you're on the fence, that's what I would recommend. Some dealers will do like an in-home demo and bring like the Strato V to your own home to test it out with your own equipment, which is kind of a really cool way to go too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Don, I don't know if you're doing that, so I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, I have the Strato V.
Cool.
I'm more than willing to travel.
Hey, I learned something today. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
But that's an option though, like, right?
Yeah.
So because the Strato V is portable, like if you're curious and you have a dealer near you, you can go to their showroom, get a demo there, but you can also say, hey, can we test it out in my theater? I'm just really curious, like, how's it going to sound against my what I normally do, So just why not, take the leap.
Yep.
Test it out.
That's cool.
That's what I'd suggest.
Yeah, like I said, shoot me an email if you have any questions. If you're in the Florida or South Florida or Florida area, I'd be willing to give you a little demo or travel to your place to show you, how it works and what it's about.
Yeah.
I have 2 portable systems, and the great thing is with these, you don't need the internet. Once the movie's already downloaded, you don't need the internet anymore. It's you just press play and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Well, Amanda, thank you, Amanda. It's been really great to have you on the show, and
thanks. Thank you guys. It was fun.
You got to come back and give us a tour of that home
when
theater.
That home theater is ready. We want to have you on.
Yeah. How many years away is that going to be? I don't know.
Probably sooner than Don's theater, but
I can guarantee
we'll keep that running
before Don's theater.
Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks so much for having me. It was really great. So.
We definitely appreciate you.
Have
a fantastic evening.
All right. Thanks.
Yes. And thanks to Josh also. We'll definitely stay in touch. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was fantastic, man. I mean, I can't say enough about this product. You guys know that I'm very partial when it comes to this particular product.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is that here's what I ask. Just like she said, don't make a judgment on a product just because of a price or whatever, make sure you go test it out yourself, or take a demo, have a demo, sit down and see what it can do for you before passing judgment on something, right? So that's the biggest thing, right? Um, yes, I think the product is in that gray area, right, to where it's
Well,
it's just a little bit out of reach for some people,
Yeah.
but it's obtainable, right? Maybe they have to save up a couple years for it to be able to purchase the product, or they have to find a good deal like I did, right?
yeah.
I mean, the Strato S, it was $6,000 brand new, and I bought mine for $3,000,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the way I look at it is, look, I understand people and judging it on the price, right? I mean, no one's going to buy a boat for $4 million because they want to be on the water. I mean, people do all the time, but I'm just saying, like, hey, I just want to be on the water. You're average person. $4 million is like, whoa, what? $4 million? No, I'll just get this $50,000 boat or $20,000 boat. I get that, right? But at the same time, and I'm not necessarily saying 4 million, but even $30,000 is a lot for a boat for like me, right? So I'm not spending $30,000 for a boat. I mean, I'm just not into it that much. Just like some people have $3,000 watches. I'm like, dude, I can get an Apple Watch for $500. That does 10 times more than that Rolex. Like, why would you do that? It's where is your passion? Where's your passion line?
Right.
You can't, it's fun. And if you're having a good time and it's a good experience, and by all means, but I mean, I get it. But if someone's trying to tell me, oh, well, then you don't know how to watch movies if you don't have this, or you don't know how to tell time unless you have a Rolex. What are you talking about, dude? Like, that's, no, I'm just not I'm not that into that. So,
And I still think that even if you are into the DIY space, right, and you already have your collections, I don't even think that getting this should be that this is designed to just completely replace all of that. I think you can still have both of them in the theater environment.
I'm interested.
Right?
I'm interested in the new one.
I always say there's certain movies that I will never sit on my computer or my phone and go to Amazon and put it in the cart and buy a 4K disc. But when I had the Kaleidescape in for demo, right, for review, I wouldn't buy the disc because I didn't think the movie was really worth it. But just seeing it on the screen of the Kaleidescape, it just kind of made it a lot easier. I was like, okay, you know what? I'll just watch this. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't necessarily replacing my DIY solution, right? You can get it and then use it to watch certain movies that I would probably never buy the disc. I think the Kaleidescape is the perfect way to watch those types of movies.
Yeah,
right.
I just like the affordable, relatively affordable, new version. And if you want to watch pre-release or something like that, that to me, that is like as close as you can be to an actual theater. Like, yeah, you can, like, I'm sure, like, I don't know if they release at the same time as they do streaming or even earlier.
Yeah, a lot. So it used to be a little bit earlier, but a lot of times now everything it's about released the same time
it's
for the
streaming,
most part.
But
yeah,
I want to find out what's coming up. I usually go to like digital releases this week, and I'm like, okay.
But you can have that sucker downloaded, and it's the full quality.
It's funny to say too, but you can pre-order. Right?
Yeah,
you can pre-order your digital copy, right?
Reserve your copy.
That's not never going to disappear, right?
It's not going to run out of stock.
But the good thing about that is, come like 2 a.m, that thing is downloaded onto your system. Actually, it's downloaded the day before. You can see it downloaded, but you just can't play it. Right. And then, as soon as that time release, as soon as the time lock vault opens, you're able to watch it. Hence the reason why Shane Lee is getting complaints from his neighbors because he's watching movies at 3 a.m. when they try to when they're releasing them. Right? So
Had just a bad day, but
Stay up till 4 in the morning to wait for it to drop on his Kscape. Yeah.
yeah, but I think I don't think that it is designed to be quote unquote the ultimate replacement. If you're DIY, you can have both of them
yeah.
in the home theater
I mean, look,
environment.
if you got the expendable money, it's a one-stop shop, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
really
mean,
is.
dude, I have 2 motorcycles in my garage. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like those aren't cheap. Motorcycles aren't cheap. I mean, they're. I'm not even gonna say how much they are, but they're way more than a Kaleidescape. I can tell
I
you
know,
that.
right? Some people got subwoofers, just one subwoofer that is twice the
Oh
Strato
yeah,
V.
yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
but I get,
per listen subwoofer, $9,000, right?
yeah, I
One-
guess
one
it's the
per listen.
whole.
You know,
what you
I
you're
mean, I
getting
get
from it.
it's like this. I've seen people like, especially whenever I was growing up, that had like, and this is aging myself, like $50,000 houses and $120,000 car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I
Like,
never.
We,
I
we
mean,
call
like,
that hood rich.
Yeah. I'm just like, all right, I get it. I mean, I guess that's your thing, but I mean, I'm like, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I get it, I get it. Cause like me, I'm like, especially like when I go on vacation or something like that, right? A lot of people like to get the fanciest of the fancy. Yeah. Fred's picking on me now. No, I got a really steal of a deal on
You
my
got an
coffee.
8K
So, no,
coffee
I don't-
maker, man. Wow.
Oh, no.
Paul is a baller, man.
Yeah,
Like,
see?
and
You
that
can-
coffee, it really does brew in 4K.
Yeah, I do brew in 4K, but I don't. Not at $8,000. No, I'm not there yet.
We don't
That's,
have 8K coffee content yet, but he does brew
Yeah,
4K.
no. Yeah, brews and views, man. It's yeah. Oh, that's
Shane Lee roasted my theater. He was like, "How does it feel that your Kaleidescape costs more than the rest of your entire theater?"
Yeah.
Because I got a
That's
bunch
a good
of
one.
quotes and
Yeah.
stuff. I was like,
Classic
"Yeah,
Shane Lee for you.
like that's what's important to me is having the
Yeah, that user
quality of the
experience,
movie,
yeah, and that
right?
makes
Yeah.
absolute
The
sense. And
convenience.
you're not even
Yeah.
saying, oh, it's oh, this is the best. It's just like, dude, this thing, this makes my theater more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's convenient, man, bro.
You know?
That interface they have, you can literally just leave. If you have a laser projector, you can just leave that thing on and just look at that interface.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time just looking at it and not even watching movies because it just looks good. I don't know why anybody would even want to make any kind of changes to that thing, but
I mean, look,
it's confident. It
I
looks
guess
good.
it's the fact that people have seen this for 10 years or
Yeah,
however
people
long they've
that
had
own
their
them,
image.
people
Yeah.
that own them,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, time for a change, time for an update. But if you're going to do that and request something like that, draw something out, because it's one thing to think of an idea, and then you're like, oh, I'm bored, right? It's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. Well, then, okay, then start thinking. Instead of just complaining about being bored of the interface or something like that, right? I'm not knocking on that guy, but I'm just saying, like, for example, if you're, like, hey, you're a kid, I'm bored. Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. It's like, well, why don't you?
No, I mean, every time you own something that you really like, right? Every once in a while you want updates, except if you
We all like a little change.
Yeah, except if you're referring to Windows, right? Every time I see a Windows update, I just freak out.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother soapbox.
Yeah, every
right
time
there.
I see a
Yes, you're
Microsoft
just
Windows
like,
update, I'm like,
"Oh,
no,
click."
I'm not doing this. Right.
Yeah.
But everything else you want updates. So
Oh,
yeah, I
hilarious.
can understand it, but I think it's a good
Funny because I had 2 this week. I'm like, wait, I just rebooted yesterday. What the hell?
Yeah, every time I see Windows, it freaks me out because you don't know what's on the other side.
Yeah, you do. You never know. But but yeah, it's a, like I said, hey, if the only thing that people are complaining about is the price, then
yeah. But I hope for those of you who are watching, I hope we were able to ask some of your questions and at least we tried to cover, if not all the questions in the chat. And if there were any questions, we probably didn't think about it to ask, or
Yeah.
you didn't put it in the chat, so we were not able to get to it. But
Dealer locator is pretty
yeah,
cool.
Kaleidescape is always an interesting topic.
So I guess
Michael
I have
has
a
it,
question.
Don has it, I don't have it, Kirsten doesn't have it, so it's kind of balanced, right? It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Now I've had it, I've experienced
And
it in
the
home
funny
theater,
thing
so it's
is,
great.
what industry do you work in?
Yeah,
Tech.
tech.
Okay. What industry do I work in?
Yeah, tech.
Okay.
Yeah, I need it. I can't do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, there's a, hey, there's something for everyone, right?
No, I'll say this. At some point, I'm gonna get one. So it's not.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's written. I will get one at some point. So I just need to walk my way to that point. But
I'm working on my unneeded 818s first.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it has to be a priority type stuff too, right?
But I will probably end up getting it just so I can say, hey, here you go. Yeah, I got it. It's cool. It's it does this. But I still love my, I do I do more than just.
Did we miss that?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
from
So,
Kyle.
yeah, so he mentioned that, because he was the one that asked about the UI.
Yeah.
He was just saying, to kind of make it like a movie poster rather than the shuffle screen, I guess.
Oh, is that what he was thinking? I thought he was saying like whenever you're playing something and stuff like that. And that already is a thing through the API.
Yeah, how you have the digital movie poster stuff. You can link Kaleidescape to it.
Yeah.
So there's this there's a software.
I think that's where his question was. It's like, oh, yeah, and that already exists. You have to integrate
if you
it
have the digital movie poster app, and most people who DIY movie posters, digital movie posters, use that app. You can connect. I believe yes, you can connect to Kaleidescape. You can do Plex. You can do Mad VR.
I didn't see that Matt was in there. Matt, thanks for joining in, Matt. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
No,
hey, did you see my comment after that?
He pulled
I was like,
"What
you talking about?" Don doesn't drive. He has a driver. He was sitting in the back, like, Charles, turn left.
I wish that were the case.
He has the only car version of the Kaleidescape. So.
Somebody made a comment on here about when we were talking about the 1 terabyte disappearing. Somebody made a comment on here about the Alto, and the Alto is a player that you literally can insert a disc into, and that would catalog your actual your Blu-rays, right? So it would actually catalog and then give you the option for the disc to digital, right? Well, that also came in a 4 terabyte or a 6 terabyte option for more storage. So she mentioned what's called a co-star. And what that does is it allows the older systems to work with the newer systems. So it's just like a little program that you have to purchase
around the
probably
the license. That makes sense, because I was like, I don't know about that one because that's an older one, but yeah, that makes sense. So it's still kind of the same thing, but since that's a bigger system and a main system, they had probably another box that was like, okay, we're gonna do the key thing between this device and this device and this device and this device. So which cost? That's an additional
I think also just read writes in multiple storage, right? Even though you can make it work, it's sometimes you can run into issues, right? If you're storing to the 1 terabyte and then you have the additional storage and then you're having the single device read write into both, you can make it work, but is it really what your 1 terabyte? Yeah, if you're paying for it, you have legitimate concerns, but if the technology has limitations. We always have to keep them in mind.
So this person asked, I have a 6 terabyte server, approximately what would be an upgrade. So I got the Terra servers pulled up here. This was one of the ones that she was speaking about, the 123 terabyte server. It'll hold 2,000 4K movies.
It's funny how it all scales too. Like
Yeah,
I was looking at, oh, let me do the 24. It's like $10,000, but man, another 5,000, I could double that and get 48. I'm like,
yeah.
oh man,
Sherry, what are you drinking? What was that drink?
crazy.
And this is water, man, basically. Flavored. This is my flavored water. It's a seltzer, though. It's cherry blossom and lime. It's actually really good.
So yeah, so the Terra Prime and
The question is, do you know how the question that was asked was how do you get the pricing on your upgrade?
I thought it said what is an upgrade?
Well, they were kind of alluding to, hey, I've got the 6. I want to upgrade.
I have the 6. Approximately, what would be
An upgrade.
to
What would be an upgrade to 8 terabytes?
I don't even know that they're making the 8 terabyte anymore. So
like 12.
you wouldn't go.
Well,
to that.
yeah, but he's got the 6. Oh, yeah, you can't do the older. You'd have to go to a newer version. And I think that's the gist of his question. It's like, hey, I've got this one. What would it be to go to the next similar or the new 8
I
version?
think the 8 terabyte is the SSD. Yeah, solid state. There it is, right there. So it's solid state, 8 terabyte. That is going to be much faster. Download speeds also. So that'll cut the if you go solid state,
Yep.
it'll cut your download times by like 4 or 5 minutes. You can download instead of 11 minutes. It'll cut your download times. I guess there's also an 8 and a 24 terabyte in a hard disk also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, SSD will be cool, man. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the price for 24 terabyte SSD will be. That's not gonna be.
Yeah, the SSDs are definitely quite a bit more expensive than the hard
So
disk.
yeah. If it's 24 terabyte, that's gonna be a different ballgame for the price.
Yeah, the 24.
Well, they don't make the SSD in a 24. They only make it in a 31.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, if at all they wanted to make multiple options,
Oh yeah.
they're not gonna come cheap.
Yeah. So I think Michael was saying there that the 24 terabyte, and then it goes to the 48 next, right?
It's like
so
10,000 for the 24, then the
Right.
48, 15,000. I'm like, man, extra $5,000 like doubles, the amount for
to me though, that $5,000,
terabyte. Ah,
I just leave it in the cloud for that $5,000. To be honest,
Yeah,
with you.
man. That cloud
Yeah.
storage right
Yeah,
there.
and this is 10-minute download, man. I mean,
Yeah.
see here
I
it
like
is right
the
here.
big
Here's the
movie
download
wall.
speed with the solid state, 4 minutes with the 2.5 for
But doesn't
a
the
4K movie.
doesn't the
See,
48
I agree with
the
Michael on this, man.
removable
SSD is just overkill, man.
like
Yeah.
drives or whatever in the 48? It's like a different looking server where if like one of them went bad, you could just pull it out and replace it. Is that correct with the 48? Like you have in that bottom
Right.
rack versus like the 24, it's just in the smaller size there. But I think the
Mhm.
48, I think it has multiple like 12.
Yeah, if you're under maintenance or
drives
warranty,
you can-
yes, they will send you a new one of their versions of drives, and
Yeah.
which
Yeah, it's I tell you, man, I just the reliability of that thing. Every time I turn it on, it works. It just there's no glitches, there's no nothing. I press play and it works every single time like a champion.
and that 85-inch OLED you got.
You don't find that for very many products nowadays. You really don't. You become the beta tester, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like I said, just the reliability there is good enough for me. Legit question. Let's see what it says here. Mike Squire. Legit question. As Amanda said, Kscape doesn't have the hashes for the 4K titles. Why don't they? So she touched on this, saying that they everything that they built their library around was Blu-ray, right? It wasn't 4K.
DVD
So
or Blu-ray.
yeah, they would have to go back and purchase all those movies just to do it all over again. And I guess the way they look at it is when you purchase the 4K, you get the Blu-ray
It
with it
tends to
anyway.
come with the Blu-ray. Yeah.
Right. So
not
there's
always.
very few 4Ks that don't come with a Blu-ray now.
There's few, but it's grown in numbers
Right.
lately. It's a good 5%. And if you're just talking A-list titles, you're talking 30% of them come with they're charging nowadays. It's like, yeah, you're paying $40 just for the 4K.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, if you already have a collection of 4K movies, right? Chances are they're in Blu-ray, or they are in 4Ks that used to always
if you have a
come with the
large
Blu-ray.
overall collection, you're talking
so
98% of them are definitely going to have the Blu-ray.
yeah,
So,
if you have
And
a
then-
Kaleidescape, chances are you're not buying the same movies on
Like
the
you
disc,
said.
except you just like to collect disc.
Like she said, if there's one that you don't have, let me share this screen. You go to special pricing.
yeah.
You know, I mean, you got Star Wars, $14. You got Now You See Me, $9. I own this, so I can't tell you how much it is right now on
Oppenheimer
sale.
was on sale for $14.99. That's what got me to finally purchase it. So
So you bought Oppenheimer for
yeah,
$14.99.
oh, it's on sale. Yeah, let me try to give that a rewatch. So yeah,
Dark Knight for $14.99. So yeah, I mean, you just wait for some of these to come on sale. You know.
Yeah,
They just don't have the disc to digital 4K reader. They can't read 4K. That's all it is. That's just a technical thing. It's not, it's a total different thing. It's not something that they can Michael, I figured he'd know the answer to that actually, because I know like a Blu-ray player or any device, you have to have partnerships. Like with a DVD player is not decrypting, right? It just has a player that knows how to read that stuff, right? You don't have to be online to watch a Blu-ray player, right? Or a Blu-ray to watch a Blu-ray player. You have the thing where a 4K has a kind of the same thing. You don't have to be online to watch it, but it's a different algorithm or application encryption to read it. So it costs, to get a license for that, right? And it's just like, it's not. You can put the Blu-ray in. 98% of them have Blu-rays. So why invest all this money for you to be able to put a 4K in? And
I mean, because the disc to digital, I think the ultimate benefit will be for those who already have a catalog of discs, right?
Yeah.
Chances are many of them are already Blu-rays. So
look, I mean, obviously
you get the free upgrade to 4K if it does have a 4K version. So
you can see this too. They're obviously not making money on that, right?
because they're selling
they're selling it at such a cheap rate. They're not making any money on that.
Yeah, no, they are making minimal. We're talking like they may make a couple bucks on it.
So for them to invest in 14,000,
yeah, that's what I'm
4Ks,
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Disc to digital. Disc to digital. They just don't have the authority to read the discs.
Mm-hmm.
That's just all it is. They're not paying for the chips or the chipsets to have it, decrypt and read it raw. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, it was good to have Amanda on and just talk about it. It's always a fun conversation. So but it's a great experience for home
just
theater.
joined, or he's saying hello. So it's like, man, he must know we go like 10 hours long.
I know, right?
It's like, oh, they're just getting started.
He went to bed, woke up,
Paul
shower,
hasn't even got on the soapbox yet.
Let me go grill some chicken, and then I'll join the show.
That's funny.
But
if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please shoot us an email.
Well, see, Bobby says they do have disc to digital. They have disc to digital program. The only thing is, you can't put a 4K disc in.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's-
Bobby's saying, oh, if they had a disc to digital program,
They do
case
have
scales would go up. They already do. You can put a DVD, a Blu-ray. You can't put a 4K in.
Right, but it will upgrade you to 4K.
Yes, and then you have the
if there's a
option
4K
to
version,
purchase.
right?
Okay,
Right.
do you want to purchase the DVD at a discount? And I don't even know who does that, but hey, some movies are only available on DVD. But the Blu-ray at a discount, or do you want to buy the 4K at a discount? Either way, even though you don't have the 4K, you still get the title at a discount. It's not going to be any cheaper. Just literally don't think of it as, oh, you're going to have to pay for the movie regardless, right? So you're paying the same rate whether you put the DVD, the Blu-ray, or the 4K in for the DVD, the Blu-ray, or the 4K. If you put the DVD in, you're paying the same price for the 4K. If you put the Blu-ray in, you're paying the same price for the 4K. It's just, oh, you already own the title. We will sell you the digital copy. And since you own it, we're selling you at the pre-owned price. It's not like, oh, you only paid $5 for that movie. We're only going to discount you 10%. That's not how it works. So ignore the whole Blu-ray versus 4K title, right? You're still going to pay, even if they had the 4K disc readability to digital, it would still cost the exact same. You're not getting it free.
Yeah. And who knows? It might change in the future, right?
Yeah,
Technology.
So-
is,
why? Like
I'm
you said,
gonna
most movies
speak to
are-
this what Mike says here.
Yeah.
Hence my point with an additional fee. So let me show you this.
Say all the
So I'm-
times. How many times
I
have
mean,
you upgraded from DVD to Blu-ray
exactly.
to
From
Blu-ray to
VHS to
4K?
DVD to 4K. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think, if I'm going to a new platform that, I kind of expect to pay, for something, right? That's just my
well, there's multiple factors, and we all
so
know
here's the Jaws, right?
yeah.
So for me to rent Jaws, it's $7.95.
Yeah.
For me to repurchase it, it's $3.14 in HD. And if I were to buy it in 4K, either Dolby Vision,
Well, that's $4.92.
it's
What was
$4.92.
the
HD is $3.14.
Oh yeah, so it's like a minimal charge. So basically, is what it is. You gotta think.
And if
They
you pull up Jaws on Amazon, how much is the disc?
you can make up any excuse you want, right?
Right.
But
Yeah, if you had
you
Jaws
have first
Blu-ray
of
at
all,
home,
if I have a
upgrade to 4K.
movie, I got to be able to provide that movie to you to download, right? So
And
I have to have-
Jaws on Amazon is like 20.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray disc is like $16.
yeah. And you can say, some people are like, oh, well, you already have it for download. I already paid the studio, right? Well, you're not downloading it from the studio, you're downloading it from my server. And guess what? Hard drives go bad. So I need at least a maintenance fee. This is literally just a maintenance fee, $3, $4, That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I mean,
as far as the
me,
studio,
I
it's no different than if you already owned it on VHS and you upgraded to 1080p. You had to buy it on Blu-ray or DVD, right?
look when I went through the Revolution NOS and everything else like that. I mean, I spent, I think, close to $1,500 on just drives. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, and they were refurbished drives. They weren't even brand new drives.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm going to do it the other way, I'm still spending money regardless, right? If I'm going to rip them myself, I still got to buy the NOS, which is a decent NOS is $2,000. Then you got to buy all the drives, which is another $3,000. So, if for a collection of my size that I have, if you're just starting off, sure, you can just buy a drive that's like an easy store drive or something like that, that's like 12 terabyte. You plug it into the back. But if you want to really get into this, and
his latest comment is like, it's like But if one bought the 4K disc, it doesn't transfer disc to digital, only the Blu-ray, and you have to pay more for the 4K version. Yes, think of it as, hey, you're paying for upkeep of that file. So it takes a lot less space and a lot less hard drives for a 1080p disc. I can put, gosh, what? Like at least 2 or 3 times the HD movies on discs, and I have to replace those. They go bad. I'm constantly I'm constantly replacing hard disk, and you know, this is to take this with a grain of salt because I'm not Kaleidescape. I'm not their servers, but I've managed server, right? I'm constantly replacing hard drives. Constantly. I got RAID 10. I've got I've got like hot spares. I've got all the things. And then I also have to store that same thing in 4K for you to download. So that's just kind of like a service fee and hey, guess what? You might want to download it again. So guess what? I have to keep this thing forever on my drive, on my storage, and guess what?
And even if the studio pulls a movie from them and you've previously purchased it, you still have the rights to it. It doesn't disappear for you like it does on Netflix.
Yeah, and if
or
you have
Amazon
a huge collection of discs, right? What percentage of those collections of discs
I guess I don't
do
understand
not
what you mean
have
by hashes.
Yeah,
Like hashes is like encryption.
what percentage of your collection of discs does not come with Blu-rays? If you have a
Right.
collection, you have 500 movies, right?
Yeah.
Very few.
What percentage
Not
does
a
not
very
come with
low.
I
Blu-ray?
would say out of all the movies I have, maybe 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
So you're looking at very minimal percentages, right? If you have 400 discs and you can do disc to digital for 350 of them,
So, Bobby, as a dealer for Kaleidescape and as someone that has 1,900 movies in their collection, I personally don't believe that Kaleidescape is a storage solution for you. If you have a large selection like this, Kaleidescape is to start a side collection. It's your side chick, right? It's basically to download your demo movies that you want to demo for friends and scripts and scenes and stuff like that. And it's also for new releases,
New releases, I think
right?
that's the
Because
best
you're
case.
getting new releases a lot faster than what you can get on the disc.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were several movies that I get from the Kaleidescape store. It's the gap has narrowed now between streaming and Kaleidescape. They're basically the same release date on a lot of them. But before, I mean, I was getting like Maverick. I got Maverick like 3 months, almost 4 months before it came out on disc and streaming.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, But like I said, that has narrowed a little bit, right? But it's still worth it for me to be. The biggest for me is just a convenience factor. Yes, Bobby, you may be able to rip 30 terabytes worth, right? But
Yeah.
how
Not
long did it take?
everybody,
How long did
yeah.
it take you to rip those 30 terabytes?
Yeah.
How much effort did you have to go into, and this disc won't read. Shit, I have 2 drives right here. My LG drive will not read anymore. I mean, I ran 2,000 movies through it. it's not reading anymore. So now I got to purchase another drive.
You ran the drive away.
Yeah. So I mean, now I have to purchase another drive, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's only $90 to buy another drive and pop it in there. But now I got to do the firmware. I got to do all this, and then when is my Asus going to die? Right.
Yeah.
So it's just it's just a convenience for this, right?
Yeah,
so,
I don't
You
think.
also got to remember. People tend to forget. Discs aren't forever either.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if you
those
scratch it, they're done.
Unless you're someone that's OCD like me and you store them pretty well. Like if you have your Blu-rays and discs in a storage unit, not like kept at like a good 60 to 80 degrees, and guess what? Those discs aren't working.
Should I get? Sometimes I buy a brand new disc and it won't read.
You won't
Yeah,
read
I've had
properly.
that several
You know,
times. It's
I
like,
mean,
oh,
Even when you try to copy them, when you try to rip them, right? Like, I mean, I reached out to you a couple of times, right? It's like, damn thing is not
right?
my
Yeah.
Asus is not reading this
Yeah.
You
stuff,
gotta
man. What's
go to
going
Make
on?
MTV. That don't work. Go to any DVD. That ain't working. Go to go to
Yeah,
this
so
one.
I think if you have a huge
Yeah.
collection and you think you have 10,000 movies or 5,000 movies,
and
then
then
maybe
you know,
maybe this isn't really for you, so you shouldn't be under any pressure, right, to get it. But if confidence, the wow factor, you got kids, and you don't want them having to text you every time you want to start watching a movie, right? This might be the solution. Like I told you guys a couple of weeks I set up the whole Mad VR PC stuff, right? The HTPC Mad VR. I love it, but when I wanted to watch a movie with the family 2 weekends ago, I had to just disconnect the Mad HTPC because only myself can make it work. I had to
Yeah.
like move back to my NAS storage that I
Right.
know works. So those are some of the things. If you for example, you're recently getting into movies and you don't have those backlogs of collections, this is probably a much easier solution for you to take. But if you already have 30 terabytes of movies you already ripped to a NAS drive, then it might not be the solution for you, and you shouldn't be under any pressure about that.
So, Michael,
I wouldn't even think twice
fi-
about
you
it.
say $500 for a player. I mean, the Meditar's almost $2,000.
Yeah.
The Panasonic UB9000s over nine. I bought
Yeah.
mine for $900.
Yeah.
It's probably close to $1,200 now. The
And see-
820 is close to $800.
well,
So
I understand where he's coming from, but here's the only problem with that comment, which I get. I agree. That's great. But that's not a working model for a business, because in that instance, I totally get it. It's like, hey, I got a $500 streamer, right? But if you're streaming 100 gigs, now all of a sudden I have to basically be Google to provide movies because, oh, hey, a new movie came out. Guess what? It's the Tyson fight all over. You ever heard of Netflix? Everybody with the Kscape is trying to watch the latest,
Doom
whatever
or
nip slip over here, and hey, the whole internet broke because everybody's downloading it at the same time.
Yeah. If
That's
you get a
what makes-
500,
That's what makes that.
you might not get this to digital with that.
Yeah.
you probably
you
will not
would get
consistent
big
quality.
disc to digital, man.
Yeah, you probably won't get the same level of quality. You might get Netflix quality.
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
$500
exactly.
plan.
That's why streamings work, right? It's even the
It's the bare
4K
minimum.
versions are only a quarter of the quality of a disc.
I mean, we go back to I keep going back to convenience, right? How much do you pay for a washer and dryer now? Right? Are you hand washing your clothes in the river anymore? I don't think so.
Just bring back memories.
Go
You
find
know,
a disc.
Dude,
I
I
mean,
like that.
for me, and this may not be for anybody else, but for me, for the convenience of this player, it's worth every penny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
And
find
it's,
a disc.
it's not
somewhere.
replacing
Go
your
down.
collection also, right?
Right.
Completely. You still have your collection
Yeah,
of
I still
movies,
have-
right?
I still have
Your discs and all of that kind of
eight,
stuff.
I still have 8 hard drives full of 18 terabyte hard drives.
Yeah.
That I'll still be using. I
had a comment on Rob Johnson. Yeah, just buying the disc to the collection on Amazon, which is like good, but sometimes I like, oh, I want to watch this movie. Well, you order on Amazon, you got to wait 2 or 3 days, and like maybe by the time I get that, like, I'm just not really. I don't feel like watching that movie anymore.
That depends on where you live too, because some
Yeah.
Amazon, I
Yeah,
can
you can get
I
next
can
day
order
or
it and
same
have
day
it overnight.
delivery.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, with Amazon,
like-
it's just if I don't feel like a movie has top-notch quality, I might not put that in my Amazon cart and pay for it. But if I'm seeing it on my screen, even on Amazon Prime, chances are I will click on it and just go order
Okay.
I
You
mean,
watch it when you get ready.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I even want to buy the disc? Because I've watched a lot of movies and I'm like, oh, thank God I didn't buy the disc. Because now I buy it, I watch it, it sucks, and then I still got to create space for it.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know.
always
Because
I
like
mean,
I
scrolling
don't
through
even
and
like
it's
the
like,
movie. Why do I
I want
want
to
the
go watch a
disc?
movie. So I used to go down to Best Buy and peruse
oh yeah,
the section of discs, and I'm like, let me just pick out something I want to watch tonight. And I go through and I'd find it and I'd take it home and I'd immediately watch it. And then Best Buy, slowly got rid of all of their discs. So I can't even go down to Best Buy and look at movies anymore. Like, this is like, I don't like this. Like, I have to like now go online and order it and wait a day or
I
two to,
mean,
to get it. So
there's
that's
different
why
categories
Kaleidescape
for
really,
everything that's out there, right? I mean, for
yeah,
guns, you can
It-
buy
it- look,
you can buy a cheap gun or you can buy a good
it's not
gun.
cheap. It's
You
it's
know,
it's not cheap, right?
you can
It's
buy
not cheap.
a good hand tool. You can go to Harbor Freight,
Yep.
yeah.
right?
I
So
got the
there's
Best
If
Buy
I'm
different,
on my
using
phone
it
now.
once,
right,
Just peruse
I'm
through and
going
pick
to
stuff.
Harbor Freight and I'm buying it. But if I'm
right.
making a living out of the damn thing,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm buying the most expensive one because I do not want to have it slow me down,
Yeah.
and that's kind of an inverse thing, right? You're making money off of spending money, right?
Yeah.
If you're working with, a tool, right? If you need something, right? You don't want to, if you're into doing 3D design or something, right? And you're making money off of it, you don't want, every time I click a button, it takes 15 minutes for it to render. You don't want that. You want that shit to be instant.
So
Yep.
you pay for
If
the
you're making a
So you
expensive
pay for the
movie,
processor, right?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly. You're
why do you
paying
think
for the
Apple's
big
making
bucks.
a,
Now, do you need that to do the job? No, you don't. Now, this is a little stretch for the comparison, but again, it's all about the convenience. And let's face it, dude, still, there's it if you're worried about the price to quality, right? We'll just get discs.
Yeah, just
You're
get
fine.
like that's what I'm saying.
Discs are
Like,
fine, right? But
yeah,
if you're talking convenience and you don't care, we've already got that. That's already been answered. We have streaming. It doesn't get any cheaper and it doesn't get any more convenient than
Yeah,
that.
shit, I'm getting ready to get rid of my YouTube TV. They went up to like $120.
Yeah, I've never even. I have YouTube just because I don't want to watch commercials, but I'm thinking to go full IT and just start blocking all that stuff. I'm like, that just means I'm gonna have to actually have a full blown server in here. And
yeah, but yeah, I think it's been a great. We're at the 2 hour mark. It's been a great show tonight. I don't know if you guys have any other stuff.
No, so the day and date, there's not that very many day and date movies anymore, Bobby. But
Yeah,
Popularity.
yeah, there's not, unfortunately, there's not that very many, but there are some, movies that are still in theaters that are playing that we can get right now.
The Companion came
On
out
the
this week, and it's
Kaleidescape.
only been out not even a month, I don't think, in theaters, or maybe right at the month mark.
Let me see what movies are.
hey, please hit that like button, guys. If you're watching, girls, it helps YouTube to push the video to more folks. So please do that. Do all that classic
yeah,
on
do
YouTube
all that
stuff.
extra
Like, share,
bullshit
subscribe.
that they make you do.
But the likes are really, it really helps.
I wonder if
it
you would get
helps
more promoted if
YouTube.
everybody hit unlike.
Yeah, every
Like how many
interaction.
unlikes and
No, the for live streams, right? The unlikes will probably not help that much, but likes means that YouTube will push it out to more viewers, saying people are liking this stuff.
Yeah, please.
Now, if it's a static video, regular upload, it don't matter if you like or dislike. It's interaction. YouTube doesn't care.
nice.
Find out
Nice.
what.
Hey.
Sometimes it does say still in theaters. They have like a category that on here that says that they're still in the theater or whatever. New released Academy nominees, 4K Dolby Vision.
Man, Wade, you better. Well, I don't know what country you live in. You better check your neutral, man, on that.
Oh yeah, I was just reading that right.
Yeah, you might have you should not have that much difference in in those phases. You might need to get an electrician. I had that happen to actually my girlfriend. Like literally, something happened. They did some work and they left one of the neutrals loose. And yeah, man, you'd get some mega voltage drop, dude. That is a fire hazard waiting to happen. I mean, we're talking anything from your hairdryer, coffee mate. She was having problems
if you're saying it's old wiring, it better be rated for 20 volts. Right?
Well, yeah, and it depends on the country.
20 amp.
Sometimes it's just like, yeah, you guys are all gonna,
It better be rated for 20 amps because you need special, I guess, 20 amp wiring for 20 amp.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that's why I don't play with electricity. I can DIY anything. I know the principles of it, but it's just one of those ones where if it goes wrong, it can go really wrong.
Oh yes, that is. I did an internship where me and I think it was 5 other students. We did an internship where we basically wired a house from scratch.
Oh wow!
Like everything. Like that's the kind of. I was a hands-on guy, so I signed it, and it was in the middle of winter. Oh fuck! I hated that shit. And copper does not bend in the winter. I mean,
that would be super fun, man. That was so super cool.
Yeah. We didn't do the whole thing from the ground up because you have licensed people, but we went there and we did a day or two, several days of, assisting and stuff, and all of the just basic framing, and we learned all about people that were interested. It's oh wow,
yeah,
drilling the holes, learning. And my dad was in construction too, so I understand a lot of that stuff. So already, but I was because I was thinking about getting into the trades, but I went more into electronics and stuff like that.
Nice.
So, what are you working on? What are you upcoming for your channel? Those of you that haven't subscribed to Ike's channel, Easy HT Tech, please make sure that you go over to his channel, like and subscribe to his channel. Same thing with me, Horizon Home Theater. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit that bell notification for any upcoming videos or live streams. We do this every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. What do you got coming up on the channel, Ike? You got anything in production over there?
Production, yes. But there's this expo, Star Power Expo, that is coming up in the Dallas area. I think it's March 7th, upper weekend. I'm going to plan to attend because the guys from SVS are going to be there, and they're supposed to be bringing a lot of their heavy heaters. So I'll try to go there, see if I can do a live stream from there, because they're also planning to do a live stream. So I probably need to reach out to Nick and try to coordinate with them and see what we can do together at the event. But I've never been to it. I didn't even know about it until I watched the SVS show a couple of hours ago today, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna be there." And I looked it up. I was like, "Cool." It's actually a home theater, stuff. So I'm looking forward to going to that, and it's free, so I ain't got to pay for nothing, and it's about 45 minutes away from me.
That's not bad.
And yeah. Besides that, I just have a bunch of other stuff that I'm working on. I'm afraid to talk about them because the completion date is not anytime soon for me. So I don't even want to jinx myself. But yes, I need to get back to putting some content out there.
Yeah, I haven't put any videos out for a while, so I think I'm gonna take some of these tours that we've recently done and post them on the channel, because some of these tours that we've done are definitely noteworthy, right? Yeah. I mean, some of them are, phenomenal theaters,
Yep.
But speaking of that, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please shoot us an email at hometheaterhublive@gmail.com.
We need guests.
Yeah, we do need some guests. So Please. It doesn't matter if you, like we said, if you have a
you don't even need to tour a theater. You can come and
talk about your journey,
ask questions, or brag about your bass, or your Kaleidescape. You can brag about your Kaleidescape too.
Or your disc collection, right? Come show us.
The only episode that I'm saying that word.
So yeah, shoot us an email at hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. And then if you would like any additional information on Kaleidescape, shoot me an email at horizontheater2020@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to give you a demo. I've FaceTime people before. I've screen shared stuff before. So if you're interested in that in a Kaleidescape, by all means, shoot me an email. All right. With that being said, appreciate everyone joining the show tonight and commenting whether you agreed or disagreed on the Kaleidescape. Definitely appreciate you guys joining in and talking about it. I'm over the moon with it. I know Michael's over the moon with it. So, I don't promote a product this much if I thought that it would be, that it's not good. And I've been promoting Kaleidescape before I even became a dealer a long, long time ago.
Yep.
So
take your vitamin K.
Yep.
I've been promoting it ever since I've got one. It's, I don't know a ton of people that's in their budget, but nothing but good things to say about it. I brag about it to everybody I know, like, oh, you gotta get one, So yeah.
And then your friends look at you like you got 3 heads.
Yeah.
What the hell's a Kaleidescape?
How much did you pay for it?
Yeah. I'm like, how much do you get paid an hour? You get paid way more than I do.
All right, everyone. Until next Thursday, thank you so much for joining.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks. See y'all.